Hey, what's going on guys, my name's Raf, and we are slowly approaching the end of Pokemon Journeys. This series has set up Ash's greatest challenge yet, this being the Pokemon World Championships. With Ash now in the final of the Masters 8 tournament, his goal of defeating Leon is one step away from becoming a reality. This inevitable battle is setting itself up to be possibly the biggest Pokemon battle in the history of the Pokemon anime. It's been confirmed that Ash will be using his Journeys team in this tournament, and as sad as it is to know that none of his other Pokemon will return, we don't know if this team has what it takes to defeat the world champion. However, if there was the slightest chance that Ash could bring back some of his old Pokemon for this occasion, it makes you think what his best team could have been against Leon. Or better yet, what would his perfect team be? Welcome to the finale of the Masters Collection, where today, we're going to try and come up with the answer to this very question. There's a bunch of information to cover, so let's jump straight into it. Don't forget to leave this video a like to show your support, and I'll be sure to bring out my next video shortly. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't ready to keep up to date, and without further ado, let's begin. Let's start off with a refresh, going over some of the key points mentioned in the Masters 8 tournament. Within the tournament, the 8 competitors are allowed to use a single gimmick in battle, these either being Mega Evolution, Z moves, or Dynamax and Gigantamax. Ash has 3 Pokemon that meet the criteria for the mechanics listed. Lucario is capable of Mega Evolving, Pikachu is capable of using the exclusive 10 million volt Thunderbolt Z move, and Gengar has the capability of Gigantamaxing. Ash's other Pokemon also have the capability of Dynamaxing should they wish. Leon currently has 2 Pokemon capable of Gigantamaxing, these being his Ace Charizard and Rillaboom. From what we've seen in the opening and overall standing point of the Masters 8 tournament, it seems Ash will be using all 3 of the gimmicks in certain matches. We've seen him use the Z move against Steven, and Mega Evolution against Cynthia. The likelihood of him using all 3 in the final against Leon is slim, but with the way the anime loves to favour certain elements and situations, I would really hope they take a 180 on this approach, and allow Ash to use all 3 of them against Leon, but that's not confirmed. After all of the clues and analysis in regards to Ash in the tournament overall, I've come up with 5 potential options on how Ash can form the perfect team to defeat Leon should this possibility become canon. I know this is very unlikely, but once again, the anime may allow this potential to fully excel should they wish to switch up the game for the final, allowing maybe all mechanics to be used. Ultimately, the perfect team would be the most likely option. However, I'll also be explaining what my favourite team would be should all of Ash's Pokemon return in the form of rotation or reserves. Now let's dive into the 5 teams, analysing the potential they have and how the perfect teams could be constructed should Ash use them against Leon. Before I begin, the details I'll be discussing are in no particular order. This is just pure speculation. The first team to talk about is Ash's Journeys team. From the get-go, this team has broken a variety of trends for Ash. It gifted him his first Mega Evolution, his first Fossil Pokemon, his first regional variant, and it's also granted him 2 Pokemon that can execute Gigantamax successfully. These Pokemon have allowed him to not only defeat some of the strongest opponents, but even those that are Elite 4 and Champion level. But is this team worthy of being used against Leon in the finals? Yes and no. From a standing point, Ash's Journeys team has a lot of potential to excel in this battle should they battle Leon's in-game team. The issue with Ash's team though is that many would think that they're not capable of defeating Leon due to the lack of development concepts and overall progression, but that's a video for another day. For me personally, I think this team has a chance of defeating Leon. I mean, come on, they defeated even Cynthia. Of course, anime miracles combined with Ash's strategies will definitely play its part in this battle to make it more compelling and much more fleshed out for a victory. But at the same time, Leon is a trainer who has a win record of over 100 wins and has defeated some of the strongest Pokemon with minimal to 0 damage. For how Leon has defeated the previous opponents including Alan and Diantha in this tournament, the Pokemon he owns are truly a threat that could give Ash many complications. Looking at the matchups, maybe Ash's Pokemon do have a chance at defeating Leon and the legion of destructive Pokemon he owns. From what we've seen in the opening, Lucario could be the member to defeat Leon's Gigantamax Charizard, unless if Pikachu steals the stage again to finally correspond with the initial clash shown back in episode 13 that originally established the rivalries between the characters. The next team to talk about is a team that uses a mixture of Ash's Pokemon. In the previous seasons of the anime, we've seen Ash use Pokemon in league battles that have raised some eyebrows. The thing to consider about this is that whilst the Pokemon may not be the strongest, the strategies and tactics used by Ash and the Pokemon are what makes it more of a viable option. For example, let's look at Heracross, a very underrated Pokemon that was strong but didn't get enough time to excel further or solidify itself as Ash's Johto ace. Heracross returned during the Sinnoh League and was used in a battle against Action Replay Boy, managing to land solid damage on the mythical Pokemon. For this team, I feel like Ash could really bring back certain Pokemon to do them justice, especially due to them being underrated and underappreciated. Example of these Pokemon could be Glalie, Kingler, Swellow, Hawlucha, Corphish, Weasel, Incineroar, and Goodra. Of course, these are just my picks of who I think should be given more spotlight, and I know some would argue to say they disagree, which is perfectly fine. Ash owns so many Pokemon that could be used in the form of a mixed team, so frankly any of them could be used against Leon to not only develop, but also surprised the competition. Now let's dive into the Ultimate Team. This team is composed of pure power, aces, and Pokemon that would be a great asset to Ash in battle. I'll hand it over now to my fellow content creators to discuss the options.
What's going on, guys? Hybridator here. You already know the Gen 1 fanboy in me is gonna go crazy on this one, because not only am I repping Squirtle here, I'm also going ahead and giving myself the liberty of mentioning a second Pokemon, because we also got Bulbasaur, the Kanto starter siblings, and their lovable bromance. Now I know what you're thinking, Squirtle and Bulbasaur? They're not even fully evolved. And you would be correct, but this is the anime where those things don't matter. And I'd reckon, while Squirtle and Bulbasaur are base stage evolutions, they come as strong as fully evolved Pokemon. Being some of Ash's first Pokemon, they have received a good amount of training and are some of his most reliable Pokemon, even helping him earn his first ever champion win in the Orange Islands against Drake. Squirtle was the only one between the two who chalked up a win here against Drake's Onix. However, both Pokemon did what they needed to do in order for Ash to win. And when it came down to face Brandon, Ash's biggest challenge at the time in the Battle Frontier, Squirtle took down Brandon's Ninjask, while Bulbasaur took down both Dusclops and Solrock, when Charizard wasn't even able to knock out a single one of Brandon's Pokemon. The two brothers are really strong, and while I hate to admit it, if I had to pick one over the other, Bulbasaur is the one that deserves to be there, as the guardian to all of Ash's Pokemon at Oak's lab. That being said, don't get it twisted though. These two come as a package, and Squirtle being the leader of the Squirrel Squad, oh my god. And Squirtle being the leader of the Squirrel Squad is sure to put up a fantastic fight as well.
Next up for Ash's team against Leon is a Pokemon that goes without saying, and that is Charizard. Charizard has been one of Ash's closest friends and partners for such a long time, so if we're throwing our ultimate team together, of course the lizard is going to be involved. Back in the original series and even in the advanced generation, even if Ash hadn't been travelling around with Charizard, he always knew that it was just one phone call away from coming and helping him. We've seen this in battles against Claire, Gary, and of course Nolan, where he took down a legendary Articuno, and I don't think it would be any different if Ash were to put together this team here. He would recall it to do some damage to Leon's team. Charizard is Ash's original ace to the original series, and it has been through it all with Ash, from disobeying him at the Indigo League to winning him battle after battle. It shares such a huge bond with Ash, and one I'd say only a Pikachu and a few others pass. We've had a lot of Charizard representation in recent years, and it's just a shame that none of them have been Ash's. Ash's Charizard is the original Charizard, and even though it returned in black and white, I feel like it still had a lot more to show. A lot more power that it gained during its training in the Charizard Valley, a place where it stayed to become the strongest Charizard in the world. So what better stage than facing off against the world champion Charizard trainer to show off its true abilities. So with all that said, I really think Charizard is a must for Ash's strongest team to take on Leon. It brings so much history, a massive connection to Ash, and a hell of a lot of battling power.
Ash's Sceptile was a real powerhouse on his Hoenn team, journeying with him for a league in the Battle Frontier. During these adventures, it's more than proven itself to be a capable Pokemon that's deserving to be used in Ash's ultimate battle against Leon. He was part of many Hoenn's gym battles, notably he took the big wins against Brawly and Norman's ace Pokemon, while in the league it would take Ash's win against Katie. Sceptile would really pick up in the Battle Frontier, taking on Greta, and after it evolved he'd take on Spencer, and notably he'd take on legendary Pokemon Regirock, and having the speed to catch up to a Deoxys. His momentum would carry on to the Ash's battles in the Sinnoh League, as Sceptile would be the only Pokemon in the whole region to take out Tobias's Darkrai, even after it has healed itself with Dream Eater. Sceptile has proven himself more than worthy of going up against Leon. Looking at the game, Sceptile would be a strong contender for various Pokemon Leon has, such as Rhyperior or Seismitoad. In addition, he could learn a move like Dragon Pulse or Dragon Claw to fight against Taxus or Dragapult, and there's also the potential of giving us another Grass Starter versus Grass Starter matchup by having Sceptile battle against Rillaboom, kind of like how Alarm's Chestnut went up against it. Through opening up to Ash, finding new ways to train and overcoming many tough foes, Sceptile has proven that it's one of Ash's most reliable Pokemon with the power and experience to back it up. He more than deserves to be in Ash's ultimate battle.
A major powerhouse on any Ash team needs the Sinnoh ace Infernape. Infernape has shown time after time how powerful, versatile, and determined it is. With many feats under its belt, such as taking down 5 Zangoose, Fantina's Mismagius and Drifblim, not to mention Candace's Abomasnow, and more just as a Chimchar. Then as Infernape, it showed its skill by taking down the likes of Volkner's Jolteon and Luxray, alongside the iconic victories against Paul's Aggron and longtime rival Electivire, which of course is no pushover. Plus, after his time in Sinnoh, Infernape has been training incredibly hard with the likes of other Ash Pokemon such as Charizard, Quilava, Pignite, and Talonflame, while also being strong enough to mentor other Pokemon such as Gengar and teach it Will-O-Wisp. Infernape brings a strong move pool, power, a top tier Blaze ability, and overall heart to a battle against Leon, and can help take down powerful Pokemon from Leon such as Rillaboom, Mr. Rhyme, and even Aegislash. That being said, I think Infernape is a great pick for any Ash team.
What's up, Lumiose trainers? Lumiose trainer Zach here, and I'm gonna be talking about why Greninja should be on Ash's team in the fight against Leon. Now this one is pretty easy and should go without saying, but Greninja is one of Ash's all-time strongest Pokemon, period. Back in the XYZ anime, it was able to go toe-to-toe with Diantha's Mega Gardevoir, and almost defeated it with an unperfected Ash Greninja form. Now just imagine how that fight would play out today now that it has the perfected form, thanks to his transformation, Satoshi Gekuga.
Hey, I want to try that one. I haven't done that one before. Satoshi Gekuga. Oh, forget it.
It has a strength equal to Mega Evolution, and is able to become one with Ash. The special bond these two share is near unbreakable, and actually reaches levels far greater than a Mega Evolution bond. With this form, it was able to defeat formidable Pokemon, such as Wolfrick's Mega Abomasnow, Sawyer's Mega Sceptile, and played a big role in the Team Flare arc. And yeah, it might have lost to Alon's Mega Charizard, you know, we'll never forget that one. Ash's Greninja has gotten so much stronger since those days. Just look at its most recent appearance in Pokemon Journeys. Not only was Ash and Greninja completely in sync without the form, but it was even able to take down Lucario, Ash's ace of the new Journeys team. And the fact that this Pokemon helped train said ace only further proves the point that it has a ton of experience and strength to be able to be on Ash's best team.
Okay, I know Ash's Lycanroc typically doesn't come to mind when you think about candidates for Ash's ultimate team, but just hear me out. On a stacked Alolan team that included Incineroar, an Ultra Beast, a Mythical, and a Legendary, kinda, I believe that Lycanroc still managed to carve out his spot as the ace of the team. This is the same Pokemon that beat Olivia's Lycanroc in a head-to-head fight while it was still a Rockruff. The same Pokemon that took down all three of Nanu's Pokemon, and of course the same Pokemon that won Ash his very first league, dealing the finishing blow against Gladia. Plus, you know Leon's packing a Charizard, so I think you'd be silly to walk into this battle without your best rock type. It may not be any Ash Greninja, but it's still a form exclusive to Ash, and a darn good one at that.
Hey everyone, Polly's World here, aka Polly from the Pokepod. Next up in the running for Ash's perfect team versus Leon is none other than his Lucario. Let me explain to you why I think Lucario is a perfect addition to this ultimate team. Ash has a fascinating history with the concept of aura and his connection to Lucario. In Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, Ash discovers he is aura sensitive, which helps him team up with Sir Aaron's Lucario in order to save Mew in the Tree of Beginning. Fast forwarding to the Diamond and Pearl series, during the Pokemon Ranger 2-parter, Ash makes a meaningful connection with another Riolu and is able to sense its aura multiple times. This continuity carries over into Pokemon Journeys, when Nurse Joy places a Riolu egg in Ash's care. Even before it hatched into a Riolu, Ash was immediately drawn to the egg sitting inside the incubator, and for the rest of the episode, Ash refused to leave its side until it hatched. Ash has had a very special connection to his Lucario since the beginning, and I'm certain that that connection can be instrumental in his match against Leon. Since it was a Riolu, Lucario was always raring to train with Ash and Go's Pokemon in efforts to become stronger, with Go's Cinderace becoming its most frequent sparring partner. From its intense training, Lucario has developed a varied skill set, which includes its specialty long-range attack, Aura Sphere, close-range attacks like Force Palm and Reversal, and an ability to remain quick and nimble in battle, especially with its use of Double Team. Having this varied moveset would definitely make Lucario a great asset against Leon's team. Lucario also gained much experience battling against Gigantamax types such as B's Machamp and Raihan's Duraludon, even after receiving massive damage beforehand and still finding the strength and endurance to get up and fight. With this much experience, I am confident that Lucario is strong enough to take down Leon's Pokemon, even at the Gigantamax stage. While Ash loves all his Pokemon, he is known to be an incredibly powerful Pokemon trainer whenever he battles with members of his team he has a special connection to. Ash at one point even compares his bond with Lucario to the special bond he has with his Greninja, inspiring him to visit Kalos and encourage Lucario to do some training under Greninja as a mentor. Greninja's training comes in handy when it, Ash, and Lucario team up to take down the remaining roots in the forest. In this scene, Lucario was not only able to Mega Evolve and be in perfect sync with its trainer, but was also able to conjure up a giant and powerful Aura Sphere, an attack that later comes in handy against Raihan's Gigantamax Duraludon. Combined with Lucario's natural strength and the ability to Mega Evolve, Ash and Lucario being completely in sync would be a force to be reckoned with against Leon and his team. Plus, it's even now defeated Cynthia's Garchomp, arguably one of the strongest Pokemon in the entire anime. This doggo is beyond powerful.
Maybe the Solgaleo is the final Pokemon we feel deserves to be on Ash's ultimate team. You may be confused as to why I chose Nebby, especially seeing as Ash didn't catch the legendary Pokemon. Well, he may not have caught it, but it's officially confirmed that he did in fact own this Pokemon. Everyone has been wanting Ash to own a legendary Pokemon. Melmetal doesn't count. Well, seeing as we have this confirmation, what more of a better occasion for Ash to use this Pokemon against Leon? If Tobias and other characters can use a legendary, then damn well Ash can do the same. Maybe Ash will revisit Alola for one last time before the battle, and Nebby will return to assist him. Like we've mentioned before, we know these options are super unlikely, but anything can happen in the series, and I think it's fair to say that the unpredictability factor has made its mark. Looking at this team, it would have been a dream come true to see him use the majority of his aces in rotation as well, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem likely. It's time to dive into the facts. Ash's perfect team. This is a team that contains Pokemon that have the ability to defeat Leon in terms of strength, type coverage, movesets, and generic strategy all amalgamated together. Let's say Leon follows suit and owns the Pokemon from his in-game team that reflect his anime counterpart. If this is the case, then there are a variety of weaknesses that they can be exposed to. Pikachu is already secured, so let's start with the first Pokemon that will make the team, being either Charizard or Infernape. These Pokemon have the capability to take down Leon's potential Aegislash, Mr. Rime, and Rillaboom, implying that either one of these Pokemon could defeat 3 of Leon's team single-handedly. Of course, Incineroar is also another option. Next we have Sceptile, a Pokemon capable of defeating Leon's potential Seismitoad, Rhyperior, and Inteleon, again leading to 3 more Pokemon that can be taken care of. The next Pokemon I want to add to the team is actually Dragonite. This is due to the fact it can take down Dragapult and Leon's potential Haxorus. The last 2 Pokemon I will mention are Lucario and Greninja. Lucario has the capability of Mega Evolution, and due to it being shown as the ace of Ash's Journey's team having a key role in the climactic battle ahead, it only makes sense to add it. Greninja is a Pokemon that has a type advantage over both Leon's potential Cinderace and Charizard, so I think that explains itself. Now, even though these Pokemon would be essentially classed as perfect candidates to take down Leon's team, there are plenty other Pokemon in Ash's team that could also assist, despite not being the most developed or strongest. For example, Glalie could take down both of Leon's dragons and Rillaboom, Bulbasaur could put in the work against Seismitoad, Rhyperior and Inteleon, and even Mr. Mime has the capability to defeat all of Leon's Pokemon with the use of technical records being used. The perfect team is something that can be constructed with the use of various other Pokemon too, like Nebby, Lycanroc, Goodra, Crocodile, and even a Ganondorf. But this is just my opinion for which Pokemon I feel would be the perfect contenders. Finally, we have my team. When making this video, I knew exactly what I was going with in terms of which Pokemon I would choose if I had to tell Ash to use them against Leon, and that's the Pokemon on the thumbnail, being Pikachu, Charizard, Sceptile, Golga, Nebby, and Mega Lucario. Can you actually imagine if Ash used these Pokemon against Leon? With no limits or restrictions, it would be one of the most superb battles ever. It's unfortunate these outcomes will never become canon. However, it may not matter anyway, because it seems Ash's Journey's team can defeat Leon all on their own. But that's a video for another day. Huge thank you to my friend Lemoncoin for designing the art used in the thumbnail for this video. Be sure to follow Lemon's Twitter and commission him for many outstanding art pieces surrounding the Pokemon anime. Also, thank you to all of my friends that helped me out with this video. Their channels are in the description below. So, will there be the slight chance for Ash to bring back his old Pokemon against Leon? Who knows? It would be a dream come true to see all of these options become a reality, but I guess only time will tell. But why not let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you guys would like to interact with me, then be sure to follow me on Twitter and join the ThePokéRaf Discord server to discuss all things Pokemon. You can find the rest of my social networks on screen and in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave it a like, as your support is greatly appreciated. Don't forget to share the video with your friends. Finally, make sure to subscribe to keep up to date with my videos, and click on the little bell to enable notifications, so you guys get notified when I upload a new video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure to stick around for more Pokemon content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.